Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the Camarilla Cafe. Probably the first in about, 2 years. Who's playing the music in the background? Anyways, my name is Lou LaRocco. I will be your host, and I am accompanied by Chris Bonica. And are we still going by Mundane? I think that is coming from me, is it?
I think so.
Yeah, that was me. I hope nobody heard the music going on top of itself. It was making me a little crazy. And then we hear Mundane as well, so I'm going to have to click on both of them to switch their cameras manually. This is going to be a lot of fun. I'll say this, it's been an experience trying to get this thing up and running again after 2 years, because I've had to update everything, and no one would know unless I told them. Chris was having some technical difficulties too today. And
yeah. I'm about to throw this thing out the fucking window.
I told you last week, right? So me and Mundane were on for about, 7 or 8 hours. And the audio was jacked up the entire time. And it took me 9 hours to get everything actually functioning.
So what was driving me a little insane just before was that I had 2 days off of work last week, and I spent the whole day messing with my audio and video. So that shouldn't have been an issue.
But it was.
Of course it was. Of course it was.
That's always the way it works out, right?
Uh-huh.
Mundane was doing pretty good, though. He just jumped on. He didn't give a fuck. You could tell. Look at his mustache. How you doing, Mundane?
Yeah, it's beautiful.
No, doing good. I'm here. Not using my MacBook, so everything's working fine. Just fucking started that bitch up, put in my password, and here I am.
You should be using that camera angle that you had on when we were testing everything.
You mean this one?
Yes. So I didn't realize.
Angle, just so you know.
Oh, man.
Oh, look, you exfoliate. How nice.
Yeah, it does. It looks smooth.
Look at it. It looks smooth, like
It's like
the
a
baby's behind.
Baby's anus. Anyways. So I had a question from somebody earlier today. They said, to what extent is our phone listening to us?
Oh.
A lot.
Huge. A lot. Are you kidding me?
What have you noticed?
Here's how you tell. Here's how you tell. Look. Phone. Screen off. Hey, Siri.
Right. It's listening constantly.
It's always listening.
But to what extent is it comprehending what you're doing, when you're doing it, and what you're looking for? Like, one thing I'll point out personally, I mean, I've had tons of things where, like, I'll have a conversation with somebody the day before, and then all of a sudden the next day, Facebook is marketing it to me. Like, I'm starting to see it on the reel.
Targeted ads.
Right. And I was going to point out that the new Apple operating systems, they actually have something about them marketing to you, but they never market directly to you. Like Windows, they'll market to you like you're actually in a browser while you're on your desktop, which is fucking weird anyways. Apple has the same kind of thing, but they don't do it the same way. But it's like cross-app, I've noticed. Like I can search something on Safari, and then all of a sudden Instagram knows that I looked something up. And I have some other occurrences to actually talk about that other people have told me that have happened to them. Like, how have you guys noticed it day by day?
So it really has to do with a lot of the things like cookies. Those get stored locally on your computer, right? And so it also people in your network. So like Christina, my wife, who's in my network, if she looks up, let's say she's looking up Juji fruit, it might show up as an ad on my page because she's in my network, and where, we obviously have a lot of cross data, so it'll populate on my page. So yeah, it's kind of invasive, and it's also telling because you know exactly what it's doing because you see it. There's times where I'll simply be talking to somebody about something, and I'll start getting targeted ads for it. So I think the phones are listening to more than probably what you expect. But, you know, who's it? Mark Zuckerberg and all these other tech leaders would tell you that no, they're not. You know, they only listen to certain cues, but I don't think that's correct.
Well, they definitely know your geolocation on a regular basis because I've noticed that around a certain time, it will ask if I want to add something to the calendar. Like it knows when I'm passing certain stores at what time every day. It knows my commute.
Yes.
But to your other point, here's something that's really fucked up. So I have a friend of mine. I'm not going to name him. I don't know if he wants me to name him, but he was going through a rough time with his wife, and they were like approaching a divorce. And this goes to what you said about Christina living with you. So I guess she was doing a ton of research before he knew that she was looking for a divorce. His phone was starting to give him things, talking about it, like looking for a lawyer or something like that, because she was searching it. And he didn't know until like a month later that that's what she was searching. So it knew that the two phones on the same network were in proximity to each other. And it probably knew who they were to each other. And since she was looking it up, it was starting to give him the adverse, giving him advice or kind of tipping him off. So it wasn't just his phone looking at what he's doing. It was the both of them working in conjunction on the same network. Like it knew it was the same household.
Right. Well, it goes further than that. So I'm not sure if you guys have ever talked about mesh networks and like the Ring doorbell system and how they communicate from one house to another.
Yes.
Okay. And so if you have enough Ring doorbells, that will get back to a server at some point, and that information is all linked through a mesh network. So why they say like your data is secure, like, and doesn't get shared, that's complete bullshit.
What do you believe it's sharing with your neighbors? Like where exactly is it going?
No. It's going to a server. That information is being stored.
What do you
everything
think,
leads back to
Mundane?
a server at some point. So everything leads back to a server at some point. Where I'm at, I kind of have that locked down because not only am I out in the woods, so there's not really much for my internet to communicate with, but also I use commercial Ubiquiti internet equipment, so I can see traffic, I can see what goes in and out. Things are locked down. One phone can't see another phone's traffic. The only place that you can see traffic from multiple devices is the actual head unit for the internet.
What does that mean? You said a Ubiquiti network?
Yeah. So that's just the manufacturer of the equipment. So I have Starlink internet, but from that Starlink, it then runs into a Ubiquiti gateway. So I can control everything that comes in and out of that gateway. So any data that's collected on the network hits the gateway, and then I have that blocked from making it to Starlink. So it never makes it back out into the world.
Really?
Yeah.
So if you talk to
essentially
Siri,
everything
will
that
it
comes
block
in.
that?
If I talk to Siri, it won't block it. There's certain things that have to be let through. So for Siri to work properly, which it's going off right now, some information has to get back out. So you can't fully block it. But like, say I go on my computer and I'm looking up something that the government will put you on a list for. That doesn't make it back out. Computer network and computer traffic doesn't make it back out. It doesn't have to. The only thing that has to is like certain websites, obviously it has to download the website. If you click something, it has to upload that click. But cookies and stuff can actually be blocked. And that's part of the reason for using a VPN. You can also kind of hide it. So essentially the way it works is Starlink comes in, the gateway has its own internal VPN for the property, and then each access point on the property has its own VPN. So it acts as a mesh network, but every time you move from one place to another and you switch access points, you're on a separate virtual private network from the rest of the system.
So we do have, I see a comment here. They have a question for you. It's coming from Louis Larocco. He asks, Mundane, what are you looking at that isn't supposed to hit the server?
As a lot of people know, I collect and own quite a few firearms. So anytime you ask questions about firearms, you run into issues where it's going to get back to someone that wants to see it or wants to know what you're doing with it. So,
Oh, I understand. Yeah, yeah. They're watching intently when it comes
yeah,
to that
even if it's a
topic.
harmless question, like you're just trying to learn something about it. You learning something about it, you may learn something that they don't want you to learn, and then they start asking questions.
Right. So basically, my question would be, how do you even access that? Like, how do you even get to searching the term if it doesn't hit? Like, wouldn't you block it on the way out?
So you block the cookies on the way out. So everything that it looks at that it would want to send back, like personal information, if you type something in, that stuff, the cookies are blocked. So the download and upload of the actual website from the server works fine, but the upload of the cookies of exactly, so cookies do more than what people think. They don't just keep like your password saved in your browser. Cookies also look at how far down that page you scrolled, if you highlighted anything on that page, if you typed in anything in like a search box on that page, and the term that you typed into that search box, all of that is tracked by cookies.
And now, do they almost like a key recorder? But what is that? What is that called when they get that onto your
Key logging.
key logging?
Yeah, keylog.
So do they key log you? Oh, normal people, unless you block the cookies. Do they have a long key log of every one of your cookies in a database?
It keylogs to a degree. So if there is a form on the page that you can type into, it keylogs that. That's how it knows to tell the server, like, this is what they typed into that form. There are some websites that, and you can see it, that have encryption. So like it'll pop up at the top. It's like a little lock icon in your search, in your URL bar. It will actually pop up, and that's basically 256-bit encryption. So that means if you have to put personal information in, so like if you go to a website to pay your electric bill and you have to put your card information in, that has to be a secure website legally. And then if you're not on a secure website, then it is logged, and not only is it logged, but it is saved in plain text.
Oh wow, key logged.
So any website with HTTPS, the S is for security.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I'm pretty sure all websites have moved to that HTTP.
It's not required. It is actually a
HTTPS.
separate license.
It's
you
not
have to buy.
required, right? But they should have all moved to that.
Okay, so and now what's happening as far as your phone figuring out your personal, like the speech that's recorded? Siri or what's the Google one?
Well,
They've
you have
changed
Gemini
things
now.
times.
You have Gemini now, right? Which is your
I don't
new,
like that.
which is the personal assistant.
Maybe I should ask. Hey Siri, what do you do with my data? Oh my God! It just gave a search Google. When you aren't signed in, more information about your Google. My account, google.com. But Siri's not going through Google. Siri's going through Apple's servers.
Yeah.
Just throwing the
So
blame.
if you want to trust Apple, Apple will tell you that on all of their newest iOSs, everything is kept on the phone. Everything is local to the phone. Nothing makes it back to their servers.
Okay. Hi, Vicky's in the chat room. What's going on, Vicky? So she asked, are you just on Facebook right now? No, we are also on YouTube. That was what was playing in the background when I was going schizophrenic and I heard my music twice. Was the iPad right behind me. So I'm looking at the chat over here for YouTube. I'm looking at the chat for Facebook this way. And then I'm camera switching these fine chaps because I have to do it manually because I can't figure out how to do it automatically. Isn't that nice? But we used to use Zoom all the time. And I've been paying for Zoom for no reason. Wait, I gotta put that up. That is awesome. So, so do you have any other situations, Chris, that you were like catching the phone being invasive?
Uh, no, I will say like targeted ads are kind of the biggest thing. It's mostly targeted ads. I don't notice my phone doing much other than that, even though I do feel like Google has a lot of AI still stuff built into it at this point. I mean, it's really the AI centric phone. So, like one thing that it does now is if you're doing if you're doing live translation, and let's say I'm talking to somebody who's, let's say they're Spanish, and I'm talking how I am now, it'll relay my voice to them in Spanish. So it'll pick up the cues and affect of my voice and the sound, and speak to them in Spanish.
And you don't have to
And it
prompt
does
it
it-
to do that.
It does it automatically, and
Really?
it's really accurate. Yeah, it's kind of scary.
I mean, I've noticed every single morning when I wake up, my phone puts a link on the home screen so that I can check the weather.
Right.
I check the weather at the same time every day. Now it sends me a link instead of me having to open my phone and go to the weather. When I'm coming to the end of my shift downtown, it will start telling me how long it's going to take me to get home. So it knows every day, on average, where I'm going. If at a certain time on Sunday, it will give in the morning, it'll tell me how long it's going to take to get to church. So, like,
Right.
everything I'm doing that I do, like, on a schedule, my phone is now putting it right on my home screen before I even go in to look for it. So, it's
So, question with that. What do you use for your navigation app?
Google Maps. I'm
That's
on
why.
Apple, but I use Google Maps.
So Apple Maps does not at all in any way, shape, or form track where you have been, where you go on a regular basis. Google Maps does. So Apple knows that if you're using Google Maps and you travel somewhere at a certain time on a certain day, Google Maps relays that information to Apple and Apple will produce it for you. Apple Maps, on the other hand, the reason that I use Google Maps is because it doesn't keep track of where you've gone or where you're at or anything like that. So every time I go into Apple Maps and I try to use it, if it's somewhere that I go often, it doesn't save that data. So I can't just go in and go, oh, that's where I want to go. It's not just there for me. It actually, every single time you use Apple Maps, gets deleted at the end of the trip. They only track where you're at during the trip.
Really?
Yes.
Is that like a...
Sometimes,
Go on, Chris.
I was going to say sometimes I like the fact that I can go back and see where I was because I forget.
That's why I use Google.
Right. So the other thing I wanted to mention, Lou, is like I don't know if I'm not an iPhone user, but does it do routines? Can you is it set up so that when you wake up, it knows like your routine? Because I know Google does that. You can set
Yes.
a routine in the morning.
Yeah.
Okay.
It'll give me a thing to check the weather, a shortcut.
Right.
So I can hit it, I can
Right.
check the weather. Then it sends me a thing that I can look at my email. Then
Right.
it starts telling me about an hour before I leave, it starts telling me how long the traffic's going to take because it knows where I'm headed.
Right.
And that's Monday through Friday.
Yes.
Saturday
So
doesn't
the
do
other
it.
thing, that Apple does that I think the Android phones are starting to do it, and that Google does it now, but ever since I switched over to an Apple phone, like if I were to get on my phone right now, text LaRocco, hey, meet me here at this date,
Add the
it
calendar.
will send you a notification for the calendar with the location, the time, and the date to meet that person there with a suggestion for what it is.
And you
and
can
then
create
I
a
also-
reminder on the spot.
The Pixels
Yeah, I
do
also
that. Yeah.
upgraded to iOS 26 because I am part of the Apple developer program, so I get all the beta builds of iOS. Another thing it will do is not only will it look at the text messages and be like, hey, you may need to be here at this date. Do you want to set a calendar invite? It'll look at my email and do that. And then
Oh, man.
there was one other thing that it does that's a little weird. I can't think of it right now.
Are you happy that you switched to Apple?
I switched out of necessity. So when I switched to Apple, I was working at the time, I dropped my already cracked Google Pixel phone into a hole of muddy water, and it no longer worked. I was completely, entirely broke, and one of my buddies that I worked with was like, hey, I have an old iPhone 10. It's unlocked. You can use it. You can have it. Do whatever you want with it. So I got that, and then I was like, okay, I'm at work. I talk on the phone a lot. I listen to music, so I got AirPods. And I was like, okay, this is nice because I can just pull them out of the case. They work. I walk away. Phone, the Bluetooth on them's great. I could walk away from the vehicle where my phone was, and they would still work.
Bless you.
And then I was like, I upgraded to the new iPhone because switching from Android to iPhone at that point in time was still a major pain in the ass. So I was like, okay, I'll just upgrade to the new iPhone, and then I ended up getting an Apple Watch. And then I was like, okay, well, I'm in the ecosystem, switching's a pain in the ass, and all of this shit just works. So now I still have, my Windows PCs. I still have that type of stuff, but I have an iPhone, a MacBook, an iPad. iPad was because I have a business that the business model revolves around that iPad. That iPad is the head unit for this photo booth that's behind me.
Mm-hmm.
But then the Apple Watch and the AirPods and all of that stuff, and I was just like, well, it just works. If I get on my MacBook and somebody calls me, I can just answer there. I don't have to go find my phone wherever it's at. And then the recent pickup was I got AirTags.
Oh man, what, are you tagging people?
No, I tagged my stuff, like my Go bag. My Go bag's tagged. Trinity's car keys are tagged, stuff like that. Stuff that gets, set down and then you can't find it, and then it's just so much easier to go on your phone and just be like, where is this?
Right,
Lead
and then
me
it
to
beeps.
it, please.
Chris, you taking notes?
I have AirTags.
You have AirTags? Yeah, but they're hooked up
course
to
they do.
Google. That doesn't work, right?
Oh, you see, this is where you're wrong. I have an iPad. I can still use AirTags.
Yeah, it doesn't work the same way.
Well, even with the Android phones, I have been in a car with somebody that has an Android phone, and their Android phone has been like, there's an AirTag following you. Would you like
Yep.
to see who the owner is?
Yes, it'll track.
So, okay, so here's the next question. So you really like the convenience of this thing reminding you everything, knowing where you're going. Chris, you said you like it to log sometimes. You like to look back at and see where you've been.
I mean, you have to give up. So today's day and age, you have to give up your privacy for these conveniences. Mm-hmm. That's kind of the bait and switch. Like that's what you're bartering.
Right. Okay. So you're calling it a bait and switch. All right. So that's
Well,
leading to my next question.
It's really a barter. Really, you're bartering your privacy for convenience.
Okay. What do you feel, or either one of you guys, whoever wants to answer first, what do you feel the goal is on this? Do you feel like it's your convenience? Do you feel like it's marketing money? Or
Well, it's marketing money, but what you're getting out of it is convenience. That's what you're getting out of it.
Nothing
But
is free.
nothing is free. Exactly. That's the one thing you're getting. That's how they're convincing you to let this happen.
I mean, do you believe that that's all they're getting? And where do you think
Well-
most of their money's coming from?
Google? It's advertising.
Any of
It's
them.
got to be. They don't really make much money off their phones, or
Well, unless
any of
it's
their
an
other
iPhone.
products.
Because they give you the same iPhone with a new name every year and a half and still charge you $2,000 for it. So
Well, I mean, so you believe that that's mostly where Apple is getting its money from, like its revenue.
Marketing? It's part of it.
You don't think that they're selling to other agencies that are stepping in?
They do. I just don't think they do it as much as Google. I think that's where Google makes their big chunk of change from. Yeah.
that is the other thing with Apple that was like why I just decided to stay with Apple. If you actually look at the history of it, their security compared to Google or any of those other companies is a decent bit higher. And I say that in the fact that like even Apple a few years back won a lawsuit where one of those alphabet agencies was like, hey, give us the information on this person. And Apple was like, no, that's a privacy breach. Not doing it. They took them to court and Apple literally won. And they didn't have to give away the information. They were like, no, we're not doing that to our consumer. Fuck off.
Yeah,
Whereas
they
you
fought the
turn around
government.
and you see like Google, and Google, they'll be like, hey, Google, give us this information. And Google's like, well, here's their information and everybody they've ever talked to and the person that lives next door to them. And
That's why I gave up on Signal. Signal was supposed to be fully end-to-end encrypted, yet the government was asking Signal for logon information, and they were giving it away. So I was like, okay, that's the end of that.
yeah, I do have to say Apple very much so holds to their guns. When somebody asks for information, you have to take them to court to get it.
So I have this here, and I don't know how much of it's accurate. So I did a quick search. I got a Google AI overview. I wrote, does Google get money from the government? And it says, yes, Google receives money from the government, primarily through contracts for services like cloud computing and artificial intelligence. Additionally, Google has received government grants, particularly in its early history, for research projects, and has been the recipient of state and local subsidiaries for building data centers. Wow. So right here, government services. Google Public Sector has secured major contracts with government agencies, such as a recent $200 million contract with the U.S. Department of Defense to provide AI infrastructure. This is saying mostly, here's one. Okay. Research grants, early funding. In its early days, the development of Google's core technology was supported by federal grants, notably a digital libraries grant from the NSF DARPA project at Stanford. I could...
Ooh, DARPA, that's big.
Yeah. Other financial dealings, lobbying. Google spends millions of dollars on lobbying efforts to influence government decisions. That's interesting. So the funny thing is, the search that I did before I asked this specific question was, where does Google get its revenue? And it didn't immediately give me anything good. It told me that primarily comes from online advertising, which is generated through Google Search, YouTube, and its network of partner websites. Other significant sources of revenue include Google Cloud, which offers enterprise cloud, blah, 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 Google Play, and subscriptions to YouTube Premium and YouTube TV. Most people I know, I think, Chris, you're the only person I know that has YouTube TV.
No, YouTube Premium.
What the fuck is the difference?
No
YouTube
ads.
TV gives you like cable channels.
Okay.
Right? So like if you want to watch HD TV or some other shit, you can get YouTube TV. YouTube Premium is ad-free YouTube, and it also gives you YouTube Music. And I think that's it.
That is kind of shitty.
I love it. You kidding me? I think YouTube Music is pretty fantastic.
Not
And,
only that, but it is great to have YouTube Premium and not have to worry about ads in YouTube videos like on your TV. Like on my computer, I can run ad blocker, but then YouTube has been fighting against ad blockers and like deleting people's accounts over it. So
yeah.
it's like YouTube Premium does offer the option of no ads, and a lot of times I don't watch regular TV. I just watch YouTube videos.
Also, you get higher bitrate streaming video with Premium.
Wow.
another
How
part.
much does it cost you?
The family plan, I have the family plan, so it's me and 5 other people, and it's 23 or 24 a month.
Wow.
Oh, that's not bad.
Yeah.
So, just really quickly, so we got a couple of people that are listening in right now. Hi, Trinity. She says, I literally left my phone wallet on a shelf in a store and walked away and didn't notice until I'm in the car. The AirTag is a lifesaver. Natalia Martin is here. She says, Lou, how you doing, Natalia? Thanks for coming in. And on YouTube, this setup kind of sucks because I can't talk into the microphone when I'm aimed that way, but oh fuck.
I can still hear you. Oh, there it goes. You broke it. It's over.
This is what happened to my camera the other day. Okay, let's go on here. And then we have Vicky. I'm going to have to do that over again.
Well, she
See,
says,
these are the
I think
growing
it's
pains.
mutually beneficial.
I don't know if it's mutually beneficial. I don't know if I buy that. But I mean, where do you see this in the long run going? Let me ask you that.
Well, I think we're getting to the place of where it's going. I think they're using all of our data to train AI models. So I think we're on the doorstep of whatever this is leading to. Our replacements.
So, so I'm very quickly just gonna come in here. Vicky said, "I think it's mutually beneficial. It's not selfless. They get to sell and buy, and we get convenience." And then she said, "Yeah, but several private companies put in bids and government contracts." I would argue that the overwhelming amount of their revenue is coming from government contracts at the rate that it's coming in right now. I would debate that because even the numbers. Let me come back here real quick. Under
all I can say to that is at least it's the American government that they're working with, unlike Apple and China. I'm just gonna leave it there.
Are you sure about that?
$55 billion a year that they give to China that has nothing to do with Foxconn.
See, so like,
their iPhones.
all right, here's a Reddit infograph. And immediately it says the rest of its revenue primarily comes from YouTube, network, other, and its cloud services, which each make up around 10 to 11% of its total. Let's see what Reddit has to say. Reddit never lies. Okay, so search
I don't know about that.
comes out. What do you mean? You don't know about what?
Reddit never lying.
Reddit never lies. How does Google make money? So it says bets and hedging, 1.8 billion. Cloud, 33.1 billion. Network, 33.1. Wow, that's a lot. I wonder if that's yearly. And search, 175 billion. How much could they be getting cut in? Because if you use Google as the search engine, right? And then you buy something and you buy it for the actual sticker price. How much could they really be making off that sale?
Well, just think they pay Apple $20 billion a year to keep Google as the search provider.
I don't know.
So they have to be making some serious cheddar for that to be lucrative for them.
Well, and you also got to think, even if it's, a $1 off of that sale, when it comes to worldwide sales, I mean, if 3 billion people buy something and you get a $1 cut of it, you still get, $3 billion.
Yeah, so this says, yes, Google pays Apple billions of dollars annually, around 20 billion, to ensure Google search remains the default search engine on Apple devices like iPhones and iPads. So that's 20 billion. The arrangement has been the subject of a federal antitrust case with regulators seeking to end these default search payments.
So they tried to break up Chrome. They wanted to take Chrome away from Google as a search, as a browser.
Really?
But it wouldn't make any difference. So I think it got ruled. I think the ruling was no, that wasn't going to happen. Because what would they do? They would just make another search engine, put Google on it, and it would probably become the biggest search. What do you call it?
Who would own Google at that point? Like, how would that work? Somebody still has to take the money. Would they break it up into multiple companies?
Kind of like what they did with Microsoft, yeah.
What did they do with Microsoft?
I think they broke up the software and something else. This is going back when I was young, so I don't really remember.
So
because it was projected that Microsoft was going to become like $1 trillion company, and we're talking about in the 90s. This was in the 90s, so I believe they broke up Microsoft into two separate entities.
Wait. It says right here, no, Microsoft was never broken up, but it came close to it in
wasn't.
2000 when a judge ordered the company to split into two. This order was overturned by an appeals court in 2001, and the case was eventually settled with a consent decree that imposed behavioral constraints instead of a breakup. Microsoft's agreement required it to make certain business practices compliant with antitrust laws, such as allowing computer makers to install competing software. So the initial breakup order in 2000, a federal judge ruled that Microsoft had illegally maintained a monopoly with its Windows operating system and ordered the company to be split into two separate entities. So yeah, they didn't actually get them. They were
didn't break
going to
it up.
try.
Well, good for them. I mean, look at them now. They have Windows 11. Isn't that just the greatest operating system?
The operating systems are fucking horrible now. I'm still getting annoyed
well,
by this new
there's-
Apple desktop.
It leads back to what we're talking about. What does Windows 11 do? It farms you. That's which sucks even more because you have to buy it.
Yeah, the whole
Like, you don't
operating
own-
system
I know.
is just taking all of
You
your
have to
data.
license it. So, like, if you build a computer, you have to pay $120 to license the goddamn
No,
thing.
not
And
anymore.
they're still farming. Well, you can get those free things, but they suck.
Oh, no. So Microsoft now, you can download and install Windows and never license it, and they have to give you full access to the operating system now. So it
They
is
do.
technically free to use, but if
I've
you
never
want to
heard
get
of
rid of
this.
the little watermark in the bottom right corner that says this is or activate Windows or whatever, then you pay for it.
Wait, so you
actually
can
technically
install it on a
download,
billion
install, and
things.
use. Yeah, you don't actually have to license it. Windows did change that. It won't like cut functionality. It won't screw up your computer or shut down. They made it to where you can use Windows unactivated for as long as you would like.
Okay.
It's
But-
just it says activate Windows in the bottom corner.
And now, is that layered on top of everything? So if you open up a program, is that going to be layered on top? program they're
No,
using?
I do believe it only goes on the it's basically like part of the wallpaper.
Okay.
And there are third-party softwares you can download that will get rid of it. It'll just make it go away so that you don't see it. It's still there. You still don't have an active licensed version of Windows, but there are third-party softwares that will just get rid of the little activate Windows thing in the bottom corner.
Really?
Yeah.
So this is new because I have a computer here that is from 2012 that works perfectly, and it can't upgrade to Windows 11. And my service, I think their security updates go away as of the 14th of this month. So I'm probably going to switch it over to Linux, a Linux-based system.
You still need to know too much to run Linux.
Nah, you really don't. It depends on what you want to do. So, like, I know exactly what I want to do. It's my streaming. It's what I use to watch TV. So, there's a few Linux distros that run Kodi pretty fine. So I'll just run Kodi, and that'll be it.
Linux Mint is a good one.
Pretty
and
pretty
they
standard.
have kind of
yeah.
Linux Mint is basically like Windows, but you want to dip your toe in Linux. Like it's set up to where you can use it like a normal computer without having to know too much.
Yeah.
But then if you want to start changing things or really get into it, then it's like an intro to other Linux builds.
Yeah, Linux Mint, and then there's also Arch Linux, which I forget which one. There's another one that works well with Kodi, which is what I'm looking at now.
There's also a Linux distro. I can't remember the name of it off the top of my head, but it 100% replicates and mimics Mac.
Oh yeah, well,
What does a Linux
Ubuntu
distro?
was kind of like that at one point, but
Yeah.
yeah, there's a few. There's one that looks exactly like Windows, but there's really, I mean, you want to stick with like the ones that have the most support.
Right, because you need the most apps and development in it. Because I know that Linux, being an audio person, there's not much I could do with Linux. There's only X amount of programs I can actually use.
Audacity.
Which is nonsense
So,
in the grand scheme of things.
As an audio person, did you hear or have you noticed or seen yet that Windows 11 quit paying for and did not automatically install or you cannot install the Dolby Atmos codecs. You try to do Dolby Atmos on a Windows computer now, you have to have two computers chained together.
Well, they
with
also
an interface.
I saw something broke everyone's programs as well. Windows 11 did something with Aziel that broke almost all the audio programs, and something with USB. I think they're finally cutting off backwards compatibility with USB, which is going to cut off millions of people.
Yeah.
Am I correct
But
in
I
that
saw
assertion?
the one. I think I remember seeing something about it. Like I said, I just recently heard about the Dolby Atmos one. Somebody was trying to master something in Dolby Atmos, and to get all of the outputs, audio outputs that you needed, you had to chain two Windows computers together and run them into an interface to be able to get the full audio output to actually master in Dolby Atmos.
Yeah, they're not playing very well with any of the developers. I mean, they've never played well with audio developers in general, but and I'm talking like the longer history. I'm not talking about different like sections in time. They optimized their systems to work well for people who worked in audio. And those were very like small windows in time. Windows 7 worked beautifully. Windows 8 broke dynamic tick. Windows 10,
Windows 8
which
broke
they
everything.
because they skipped over 9 entirely, right? They went straight to 10.
Well, you had 8.1.
They had 8.1, which is basically 9.
Right.
And the dynamic tick was still off, which meant that the clocking of the devices couldn't sync. Something to that effect. I'm not exactly correct, but the internal clocking of the audio interfaces and the internal clocking of the operating system couldn't sync together dynamically. So they broke that, and then I think they figured it out with Windows 11. But the other thing now is that it automatically updates, and even if you set it to stop doing that, it eventually still does it. And then it undoes all of your settings. So the last few times I set up my Windows system to be able to stream correctly, I'd log on. I wouldn't even log on. I'd just find my computer on one day. I'd walk in. It's on. It's running. It just updated itself. And now all of my things are undone. And I have Candy Crush on my desktop again. And it did it over and over again. So I said, this is fucking ridiculous. This is ludicrous. I can't use this system anymore. So now I'm almost 100%
It's
mad.
ludicrous. Well, you don't like Candy Crush? What's wrong with you?
Fuck Candy Crush. I can't believe that they're pre-installing those games. With every update, it just comes back, and I went out of my way to delete it every time. And it just keeps popping back up. At least Apple doesn't do that bullshit. But fucking Windows, man. Like, it's obnoxious. And then they're giving you
the last
pop-ups
thing-
now.
The last thing that was happening on Windows, which they were denying that it's a Windows issue, is it was bricking some hard drives. After the last update, a certain controller that a lot of hard drives use was just being. It wasn't recognizing the hard drive at all. So, not that the hard drive wouldn't work if you stuck it into like a different system, but it was bricking hard drives. So
Yeah, I didn't run
And
into that issue. I, like 3 years ago, switched to all SSDs.
well, no, these are SSDs. These are either SSDs or they're M.2 drives. It has to do with the microcontroller on that drive.
I bought Samsung SSDs, so it was probably one of those ones where Samsung paid them enough to make sure that it was supported.
Yeah. And this was happening to a lot of different brands. It was happening to Crucial was one of them, and that's a pretty big.
Yeah.
They're a pretty big company.
So I have right here, it says AI overview. I love the AI overview. Reports of
it's
Windows
beautiful.
updates bricking hard drives are linked to the August 2025 updates, primarily affecting some SSDs with fission controllers. Microsoft has
That's it.
stated they found
Right.
no link between the update and drive failures, but they are investigating.
Sure.
But
There's one YouTube channel that I watched that they got it to brick.
really,
He didn't try. Yeah, he has. Yeah, it's his workstation, computer. Brick. Yeah, they showed it live. Yeah,
it's great. What you looking at?
me.
What you looking at, Mundane?
I'm searching stuff on my phone. while also listening to what's going on.
Yeah,
Because
no,
I'm kind of curious. I'm trying to see what SSDs it affected.
I think Samsungs were fine.
Because I did have a Samsung SSD fail, but like it didn't fail like, oh, it just isn't noticeable, or like it doesn't see it anymore. It failed spectacularly. Like Windows was
Really?
open and then screen tearing and then pixelation, and then
really.
Windows blue screened, and then Windows repaired itself and came back on, and then my 1 terabyte SSD said it was only 3 gigabytes.
Did this happen since August?
That happened. It probably happened about a year ago now.
Oh no. This
Yeah,
is
then it
recent.
wouldn't be.
But
this
yeah, it
particular.
just like completely bricked itself.
So what do you guys think about the inclusion of AI? What do you think that's doing as far as intertwining with our personal data and the trade-off of convenience?
So there's things I like about it, and then there's things I really dislike about it. So I'll start with dislikes, because I think we already spoke about what I do like about it. Certain conveniences, right? Things I dislike about it. I recently, somebody at work sent me a link to a YouTube of like a band, right? And I listened to a couple of the songs. It was country pop music, right? I picked it up right away that it was AI. Someone was generating this using AI, right? But it's got millions of listens, so people are open to listening to AI music, So I picked it up right away, but I don't think anybody else really would. Maybe musicians would, but I don't like the fact, and not for nothing, it sounded good. Like, the melodies were very generic, and what is it doing really? It's really just picking up what people are listening to and writing a very basic melody to that, right? But I don't like that. I want to listen to something that was created by people. There's a like certain amount of creativity there. So that's something I don't like.
I mean, are you looking at AI from the perspective that it's available to us to create with, or are you looking at AI from like the large overview of how it's starting to intertwine with like our data collection, our automation?
So I think AI needs to be used for specific things. Like if you want it creation wise, if you need it to help you write an email because you're just too fucking busy to write an email, that's fine. But if it's going to create libraries of music because it's just easier for a record company to sell fake music than actually pay musicians
Who
to
was
do
the
it,
model
I
that
think,
you messaged
I think
me
that's
about?
pretty shitty.
Who was the model you messaged
No,
me
no,
about?
it's an actress. So that they created a fake AI actress, and they were gonna make like a new movie, like I don't know if it was like an aliens movie or something. I forgot. Anyway, we'd have to look back at our search history. But yeah, and then like no one really bitched or got up in arms when they were doing it to musicians. But now that actors are going to be shit on with this new AI character, they're up in arms about it. And it's like, okay, well, you didn't care when they were writing hundreds of albums. It's the same deal.
What do you think, Mundane?
My bitch with it, it comes from the creator space. So like the music, yeah, like some people were using it to make like funny, weird songs, but it was creating like libraries of just generic stuff. The other thing is, it's the companies that are taking this AI and using it in the creator space in ways that I don't believe it should. So right now, if you go on YouTube and you go to your creator dashboard and you want to make a YouTube short, you can have AI make you an entire YouTube short from scratch without you ever having to shoot video, ever write a script, anything. You just give it a prompt, it makes you a short, you post it. And it's going as far as you can take videos of other creators or videos of yourself and have it make a short with you or that other creator being the main focused character. and it just replicates them and goes, here's a short that looks exactly like something they would make, but there was no thought put behind it. There was
Really?
no work done. Yeah. So YouTube in particular is literally just, oh, creators want to be able to do this? Cool. We're just going to make it to where AI can do it, and those creators don't even have to go out and shoot video.
Holy shit. I didn't know that. It's in
Who's about to start
everybody's
creating shit?
YouTube creator studio?
I do believe so. I'd have to look further into it. I was listening to a podcast that kind of went over some of it. And then I looked into it a little bit. But yeah, it's basically AI just creates the short for you. And then you post it, you get views, you make money off of it. Nobody ever knows that it was AI because a lot of AI generated content on YouTube does not require a tag saying that it was AI generated. And then YouTube uses AI to look over and moderate videos a lot of the time. Well, how do you teach an AI to look for an AI and flag it?
Really? So you can start a YouTube channel, make 3 videos, it'll analyze those videos, it'll understand what you look like, and
So
then it'll start.
specifically built in, it'll do shorts. Full videos, you would have to go to like a third-party AI and put in your prompt and do a little bit more work, a little bit more legwork.
Right.
But you're still never taking a camera out.
Wow. And it's not you, it's fake.
Yeah.
It's AI.
And then one of the big things that came with that is people taking videos of other creators and using AI to basically show them in a bad light, show them in a light of something that like they weren't interested in to begin with, and just put them into it. And then they can post it, and then those creators have to go and request that they get taken down because they're basically using some famous person's likeness to get views. And it could be pushing a message that they don't agree with.
So right here is Tilly Norwood is a Gen. Thank you IMI for pointing that one out for us. Sparks ethics debate on jobs and consent, and she's AI generated, Tilly Norwood. So everything about Tilly Norwood is fake. This is an AI generated image. It even states it. So this is the one that they were looking to sign, I guess. There's a reporter. Okay, let's see.
And again, there's something to having a specific actor or actress. You know what you're gonna, the type of performance you're gonna get from that person, and that's what you're looking for. You know, this totally takes that creativity and that personality out of the performance. I'm sure you could say, hey, you know, portray this as Meryl Streep or, you know, whoever else, you know, but that's not real. It's not authentic.
Oh boy, it looks like this specific article. It looks like it's from The Verge. Is taking kind of a weird stance on this about consent. It says there is an intellectual dishonesty to calling Tilly Norwood an actress that becomes abundantly clear when you understand what Zikayo has been developing. I don't know how to say the name of that company.
Who owns The Verge? You want to go down a fucking rabbit hole? Who owns
Vox Media, which owns numerous editorial brands, most prominently New York, The Verge, Vox, SB Nation, and Eater. Further incorporates the websites Intelligencer, The Cut, Vulture, The Strategist, Curbed, and Grub Street.
All right, and Fox Media
And
is
Fox
owned
is
by
owned by Warner Brothers,
Penske.
Comcast, and Penske.
And it says that The Verge is owned by Vox Media, which includes investors such as NBC Universal.
So right, they're not going to be exactly 100% against it and a little bit for it, right?
Yeah, they're going to play it out like the WWE right in front of you.
Exactly.
They're going to do this whole bullshit back and forth, just like the government. And they're going to be buddies. They're going to, because they win either way, right? Because
they win. They're going to win. They're winning. They should just put up a picture of Charlie Sheen going winning.
Well, how do you lose? You can't. When you're
There's
both
no
sides,
losing.
you're gonna win no matter what.
So you go
You're gonna win.
further. Vox Media is owned or have stakeholders by 3 main companies. Those 3 main companies, the key holders of those companies, the main investors, the Vanguard Group, BlackRock,
Wow.
State Street.
Oh man, BlackRock. That's one to
The
get
Vanguard
into,
Group's not any better.
right, Chris? BlackRock.
Listen. They're no longer tenants. I can talk about them.
That's crazy, man. I never knew that you that you were that close to them.
When you brought up BlackRock that time on the podcast, I was about to sign off. Be like, all right, sign off.
Oh man. Like, did you know anybody who worked for them?
No, just that
Does anybody know anybody that works for
Just
them?
They were paying the company a very nice amount of money for rent. So
Really? They were probably the highest payers, huh?
no.
No. Uh-oh. State Street's in there too? Did you say the other investors was State Street?
State Street and Vanguard.
Oh, well, Vanguard's fucking gigantic. Let's see State Street. Okay, so State Street primarily refers to State Street Corporation. I love corporations. A global financial services and bank holding company headquartered in Boston, Massachusetts that provides investing servicing. Custody Bank, State Street, SSGA, which manages. Okay, so how do we find out what they have their money in? So they have over 50,000 employees, come from all over the world with various backgrounds and life experiences. State Street. What do they own?
You can't look at what they own. You have to look at what they invest in because they don't technically own anything. They're just the
Right.
major shareholders for a lot of things.
Which means they're the board of directors as well.
Let's see. State Street owns corporate investments as a firm in NVIDIA, Microsoft, Apple, Amazon,
Woo!
government, including governments. Yeah, it says a broad range of clients, including governments, corporations, endowments, and financial advisors.
Wow. How exactly do you invest in a government? Like, how is that even legal? Isn't a government, because they
Campaign
take
donations? I don't
taxes,
fucking
supposed to
know.
just be working for people?
You said the right word. Supposed to.
Think about that. Like, isn't it in the like fucking word? You're the government.
I mean, if you look at our government, Lou.
I'm not debating whether it's the truth or not. I'm saying how is that even something that people
Not
don't
a-
kind of go up in arms about?
Not only are they the mafia, but they are probably the biggest investors in these companies as well.
You want to go a little bit further? Guess who invests and is the major shareholders in State Street? JP Morgan Chase and BlackRock.
There's BlackRock, Chris.
Here it goes.
Here we go. So wait a second. So The Verge had BlackRock and State Street as investors, but BlackRock invests into State Street?
Yep.
Is this like an antitrust situation where like they're all actually the same
Nope.
fucking thing?
Here you want to go. Major
They might
shareholders of
actually be.
Major shareholders of BlackRock, the Vanguard Group, State Street, and Bank of America.
Bank of America. So they're all invested in each other.
And they're all the major shareholders of each other,
Right.
including the Vanguard Group. They got pulled back into the mix too.
What the fuck? So right now, pretty much 90% of people just blame BlackRock for owning everything. But then you have State Street, and then you have Vanguard, and then Bank of
And
America.
they all own each other.
And they all own each other. So it's all the same fucking company, just corporately protected from each other, right? Well, from,
Yeah,
I
they're
guess,
all-
antitrust laws.
Non-monopolized.
Well, is that saying, right? They're all in bed together. I mean,
Yeah. They're the same company, for Christ's fucking sake. What are they, just writing each other checks all day long? I'll give you 500,000. You're going to give me
Yeah.
200,000 tomorrow. Like, what the fuck?
You know, you write, you know, your intercompany.
Yeah. No.
bullshit.
They're not all the same company. That would be considered a monopoly. They are
Right,
separate
sorry.
corporate entities.
Separate corporate entities.
And they're publicly traded, so you can't say that the large investors of one can't be the large investors of the other, because they're all publicly traded, so technically everyone can invest.
Okay, so here we have investment companies invest in each other for a variety of financial, strategic, and market-based reasons. By doing so, they can expand their asset base, increase diversification, and gain competitive advantages. This can take many forms, from simple stock purchases to complex mergers and acquisitions. Okay. Liquidity management. Firms often need to hold some funds in readily available or liquid investments. Okay, that makes sense. Access to expertise in deals. Some investment funds, like private equity firms, might invest in another, more specialized funds to gain access to exclusive, high-quality investment opportunities. So they're all just, they're in bed with each other. Generate returns. No shit.
Mm-hmm.
So everything that BlackRock owns, State Street owns, and Vanguard owns.
It's a pretty good deal, no? I mean, did you look at the Vanguard Group? Ownership
Not
percentage
yet.
of Vanguard Group and major companies? Oh, this is pretty good too.
Vanguard Group is the major shareholder of Vanguard Group is BlackRock and State Street.
So you just fucking, you're just doing a circle of fuckery, is what you're doing. They're just running you in a circle. Like, who do you blame? So you go to one office, they'll say, go to the other office. And then that office will go to the other one. And then the other one will say, go back to the original one. And you're just sitting there like a chicken with no fucking head. And you have no clue who to look at. I hate this camera switching. I just had myself in both spots, and it looked really awkward. I saw myself twice, and I was like, holy shit. I don't think anyone likes that. What you looking at, Chris? I see you searching.
I'm just looking some other things up.
What are you looking up, Chris? I want to know. Everyone wants to know. What are you looking at?
No, sorry. I was just reading who Vanguard invests in.
Who? Let's hear it.
BlackRock and State Street.
So you have Broadcom, Visa, ExxonMobil, JP Morgan Chase, MasterCard, Coca-Cola, Apple, Microsoft, United Health Group, Procter & Gamble, BOA, Bank of America, NVIDIA, Home Depot, McDonald's, PepsiCo, Johnson & Johnson, American Express, Citigroup, and Abavai.
So basically everything.
Yeah. It's pretty even, too.
Wasn't United Healthcare the one that had the record highs that the guy got shot?
Yes.
Yeah.
Aren't insurance companies supposed to be not-for-profits?
No.
Because I think United
I don't think
Healthcare,
so.
around the time that happened, they had record high investments and record high revenue. And they were denying everything. Like any health decision, any health thing they needed to invest back to their customers, they were declining. And they had record high fucking revenue. And that's when the guy got shot. Insurance companies are supposed to pay out. They're supposed to be insurance that you'll be healthy. And they weren't insuring anybody. They were just taking the money.
Well, isn't it all about the bottom line, Lou?
Unfortunately.
Yeah.
BlackRock and or Vanguard are among the 3 largest institutional investors for 505 out of 505 of the S&P 500.
What?
So they invest in all 505 companies that are publicly traded under the S&P 500.
So the 3 companies not only invest in each other, but they invest into the same companies, and they invest into the entirety of the S&P.
Yes.
So yeah. So this is saying that Vanguard is owned by different funds, which are owned by its shareholders. The company has no other owners than its shareholders, which sets it apart from other publicly traded investment firms.
Who is this? Vanguard?
Vanguard Group is the second largest investment firm in the world after BlackRock. Let's see.
So BlackRock's
biggest-
number one.
The second biggest ETF issuer. BlackRock is number one. That's kind
But
of.
then if you
been-
look, if you search who is the major investors in Vanguard, it's BlackRock and the other one, State Street. So
State Street, yeah.
so they're owned by their shareholders. They're owned by BlackRock and State Street because those are the majority shareholders.
You gotta love it.
The BlackRock stands for something. If IMI can jump in real quick here and tell me what the BlackRock, I think it has something to do with Saturn, what that actually stands for.
Sorry, I was gonna nerd out. And in Game of Thrones, there's 3 different types of BlackRock, or is it 4 different types of BlackRock? And they're a part of different structures in Game of Thrones and can be quite significant. But we'll just leave it at that.
In Game of Thrones? You're talking about the books, right? Not the show.
I'm talking about the books. Sorry, A Song of Ice and Fire. Being more
Yeah, because I was
specific.
going to say, that was not in the show at all. I watch the show almost every night now.
Oh yeah, well they cut out a ton of shit.
So I looked up why BlackRock is called BlackRock, and it just says BlackRock got its name because founder Larry Fink and Steve Schwartzman of Blackstone decided on a similar name for the new firm that Fink started.
Listen, they're tenants. Like,
Blackstone?
yeah.
It's the same company.
Started by the same people at the very least.
Different
Same
entity.
people. Holy fuck.
Full circle.
So the Black
Full
Rock
circle.
or Black Stone is a revered Islamic relic. I'm going to look that up. Thank you, IMI.
Oh yeah, isn't that go back to Mecca?
I don't know.
Isn't there a stone that's on display?
Stairway to Mecca. Hold on. Black Rock revered. I heard of it in another context.
Are we talking of the third kind?
It was believed to be a white stone that turned black in the Garden of Eden from absorbing the sins of humanity. So let's see. Let me look right here to go to the newscast page. The revered Islamic relic is the Black Stone, a rock set in the eastern corner of the Kaaba in Mecca, Saudi Arabia.
Right.
According to Islamic tradition, it was sent from heaven and is a central element of the Hajj pilgrimage, during which Muslims try to touch or kiss it. It is a symbol of God's covenant with humanity and is revered for its connection to the Prophet Muhammad and other prophets, though Muslims are explicitly forbidden from worshiping the stone itself. Black Rock. Black Stone. So wait, so Black Stone's in your building, not Black Rock.
BlackRock no longer is a tenant.
What do you have to say, Mundane? I see you smiling and looking down. You look like the guitar player from Limp Bizkit.
Oh, mundane.
Mundane looked. What is his name?
Oh my God, he had that other band, Big Dumb Face.
He said you got a big dumb face.
What the hell's his name? Wes Borland. Wes Borland.
Yeah. Let's look at Wes Borland. He looks like Wes Borland.
You know, you say people look like somebody, and they completely don't.
Look,
I gotta look at
look
it.
at this. They look identical. Look at the picture I
You gotta
brought
put
up,
it-
and I have him on camera.
I don't.
Look,
I don't see it.
Yeah, he does.
I don't see it.
He did it all for the nookie. Right, Mundane?
So he get that cookie.
You wrote a lot of hits. You wrote a lot of hits, Mundane.
Bro, he looks nothing like West Borland. God,
So
such an idiot.
So IMI says, yes, it's in Mecca. It is also tied to Saturn. Black cubes are tied to Saturn warship. And I believe outside the building that BlackRock is at, let me make sure I put the right guest up while I say this. There's a black cube in front of the building.
If we need to see a picture, because I can tell you if that's an old picture or not.
There is a black.
Because I know where they are now.
All right, so here's some of the. There's a black cube of Saturn structure. There's the
Well, I
Manhattan
didn't see-
one.
I can't see what you're putting up. Am I in the wrong thing here? Maybe, I don't know.
Hold on, let me bring it up. It's the black cube, the Astor Place cube.
Oh, here we go.
Mm-hmm. The black cube of Saturn. Chris is just silent.
Well, that's Astor Place. That's nowhere near where they are.
So let's see, black cube of Saturn. The term black cube of Saturn doesn't refer to a literal object, but maybe a misunderstanding of metaphor for Saturn's prominent northern hexagon, a unique and massive hexagonal cloud feature, or it could be related to an esoteric concept or theory. So there are no black cubes in space. No, the black cube is tied to Saturn worship. See Saturn and Saturn's black cube symbolism. Holds a massive tank that acts as a harvesting station for blood sacrifice from human beings.
It's always blood sacrifice. You know?
Well, something
Is
needs to come up
the
with something
show
new.
always blood sacrifice, or is the occult always blood
you,
sacrifice?
you know, it's a bit of both.
Do we always come to blood sacrifice?
I think we do.
It's
I think we do.
well, explain this. Is it us, or is it what we're investigating that always comes to blood sacrifice?
Well, the scary part is it's whatever we talk about leads back to it. So yeah.
And it doesn't really matter what we talk about, right? Like it all.
No, it's kind of ingrained in our DNA. I think
You mean humanity?
humanity. Yes.
I'm surprised. IMI has not been active on the socials. He's messaging
Come on,
me directly
IMI.
today. He usually comes in with some great stuff, and I gotta like request him like a genie.
Genie in a bottle.
So, yeah. Do you?
Yeah.
Now look at what we just did, right? Just for instance, like you made the remark that everything we do comes back to blood sacrifice. Now what we did was we looked up where the money was coming from, where the investors are coming from, what they're harvesting certain things for, right? Then we come to the investment firms. Then we look at the investment firms and we find the same three. Then it runs us in a circle. Then we find out that the entirety of the S&P 500, the entirety of it, they're all the same things. And then it comes to a cube. And it's literally called the same thing, but two of the companies. And then it comes to blood sacrifice. So where did we go wrong?
The sad part is I don't think we went wrong anywhere. I think we were led down a rabbit hole that it's pretty obvious.
All right, so think of another topic, and we'll go. We'll see if we don't do this.
Like 6 degrees of bacon. We could do like 6 degrees of blood sacrifice.
Blood sacrifice.
Oh God. Yeah.
So IMI says that the YouTube chat is not working.
Oh, that's interesting.
Is this working? It looked like it was working on my end, so if anyone else is trying to like talk to us on YouTube, I apologize right now. This is the first I'm hearing that it's not working. Okay, there's Chris. So we got a couple of things. Vicky was in there earlier. I just messaged in there. It seems like it's working now. We are also on Facebook, so we could be reached out on Facebook as well. Yeah, so I don't know. So we looked at the same 3 companies. So that would be an antitrust dodge, correct?
I guess technically.
Or do you believe that that's just dodging accountability?
I think
Go ahead.
in the beginning, they probably didn't have this plan. I would think that these 3 companies that were started separately by separate people probably didn't have the plan. Once they got big enough, then I think it could have morphed into dodging antitrust. When they decided they were all going to invest in each other.
If it's the same people, the same companies, the same investments, wouldn't that tell you that it's something done intentionally?
But the board of directors for each company is completely different.
Completely different.
Yeah, there's no overlap in board of directors between the 3 companies.
Right.
But they're all
The
investing in the
investments
same
are
things.
overlapping. Yes, the investments are overlapping. The board of directors are 3 distinct groups.
How do we invest in it?
You just buy some stock in BlackRock.
Yeah, I think
publicly
you could
traded.
do like Vanguard Mutual Fund. No.
Can you?
Yeah, because they're all publicly traded companies.
Right. And so, like, I think that's what a lot of mutual, I might be wrong, but I think that's what a lot of mutual funds are. They're like these companies that when you're buying into a mutual fund, you're not buying a stock, you're buying into what they invest into.
Yeah, they take the mutual fund takes your money and invests it in what they are investing into and then pay you a dividend of what they make off of your investment.
Right.
That's how like 401ks work. You invest into like a certain year retirement fund, and then they take your money invested in all of their investments.
Vicky Jones, she's part of the Vanguard group. See?
And
6 degrees of blood sacrifice right there.
And IMI said no antitrust as long as they are all minor partners in the other companies.
But a lot of them are major shareholders of other companies. They're not partners at all. They're just major shareholders.
Right.
Because they're all publicly traded companies.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's the whole. It's all just fucking. It's accountability bullshit. Like if you incorporate, they can't come after your personal assets. So, like if you stay a sole proprietor, which is the step under incorporation, they can come after your personal like solid liabilities. So if you run if you operate as a business, they can sue you and they can come after your house and anything you own, forcing liquidation. As soon as that entity incorporates, now they're working for the corporation. And they're the CEO of the corporation. And now when a person comes to sue, they can only go after what the corporation has. But you take payouts from the corporation. So now you're protected, even though you are the corporation. Does that make sense?
Yeah, as long as, without reasonable doubt, they can't prove that you commingled your personal funds with the company's funds. If it is found that you commingled your personal funds with the company funds or vice versa. So basically, if you took company funds and you bought a granite slab for your countertop at your house, you've now commingled and they can technically go after directly the CEO.
But every company commingles.
Not
I haven't
technically.
I haven't worked for a company that didn't.
Well, I mean, technically, you put yourself at liability if you commingle the funds of the company and your personal.
What are you laughing at, Chris?
Well, I don't think you would include your personal funds in that.
Tell me
transactions,
me
really.
one fucking company that either of you guys fucking worked for that the owner didn't have a whole shitload of shit from their fucking company in their house. They didn't build everything they had off their company. Like, shit goes fucking falling off the truck left and right. What company ever in 40, I'm fucking gonna be 50 years old soon. What fucking company doesn't do that shit?
So the difference would be if you commingled your funds without, so you're not commingling your funds at that point, you're commingling assets. If you can show receipts for paying for those assets with personal funds, you are no longer commingled with the company. So all the owner has to do is show that they technically paid the company back for any of the crap they took home.
Or they give themselves they just give themselves a bigger check and squeeze the bottom line and then just buy things with their personal money, but they're still squeezing it out of the company.
Yeah, but that comes through payroll. So
Well,
while it is a gray area, it's still technically legal.
It's not a gray area. It's pretty obvious.
I mean,
what it is.
technically, if you're an owner of a company, you're gonna receive a check regardless. Mm-hmm. So, whatever profits are left over after cost of goods sold
And what about when they take their workers to come do construction in their houses and shit like that?
The company's paying the workers. They are technically the CEO of the company, so they're technically paying their workers. And all he has to do is show a transaction where he moves personal funds from his personal bank account to the business's bank account, and then it is therefore null and void.
What do you have to say, Chris?
So, if it's a CEO, no, you can't do that. I mean, you should never really do that because unless it's like a family-run business and you're doing it for the family, that might be a little different.
But what does that mean? They're still a
What do you mean?
corporation. So if it's a family run, that means they could get payroll from the company, but they can go over to the owner's house and fucking work on their backyard.
Yes.
So yes, because you work for the family. But it's not the same as if it's like a board of directors and it's a publicly traded. You can't. The CEO can't be like, sweep my door step or something like that. No, that doesn't fly. He doesn't.
Even with that, even with what you're saying, with board of directors, there are legal loopholes. If the company is not doing enough business to keep employees busy and earning a paycheck, you can then use employees at a personal residence to do construction if you can prove that you had nothing else for them to do and you were trying to keep the employees employed rather than laying people off. Then you get a government kickback for doing it.
Come on, Chris. You want to say something? Say it.
I still don't think that that's a possibility. Not in that sense. To have to do personal stuff in someone's house. That's not a company job. No, they can't do that.
Well, if the company's a construction company and they come in and they do construction, even if it's in a board of directors' houses, they're still doing a company job. They're contracted to do construction. They came in and did construction. It'd be different if you took that construction worker and made them clean your pool.
That's completely different. So if they're a construction company, it's completely different. So, okay, if I do payroll and someone says, "Oh, I need you to replace my toilet in my house,"
You don't clog my toilet.
that's completely different than if I work in construction and then someone actually gets an invoice to do construction in someone's house. That's what you do.
Oh, hold on, you work for a family business, so what if one of them has a clogged toilet?
Listen, then I'm clearing that fucking toilet.
They said payroll done, dude. I got a clogged toilet on the second floor.
Listen, that toilet's getting cleared, buddy.
They said it. They said we ate too many enchiladas last night. We need you to come and fix it. You can get back
Like I
to
said,
payroll later.
very
Dude.
much turns into a gray area with family-owned companies.
Chris works
Family
for
owned and
family-owned
operated.
company. He shakes in the toilet.
Listen,
Enchilada
you gotta do.
Tuesdays.
Hey, listen, Taco Tuesday, I'm there.
That's that is still fucking highway robbery. And I gotta wait, but Mundane, is that true? You said that if employees don't have anything to do and it's a family run business and you'd rather keep them employed, so you just send them to your own house, they get a kickback from the government for doing this.
Yeah, I mean, look, during like when COVID was everything and everything was going on. Okay.
And that
A small company or even a medium-sized company who had employees that were going to lose their jobs, you received a government kickback for keeping them on payroll and continuing to pay them during the epidemic.
Just unclog the
And that-
toilets.
and that's how you become the pool boy.
You went from accounting to skimming the pool.
Yeah. Yeah, something's getting skimmed.
Chris looks like something's happening right now. Chris doesn't know what to do. He's turning blood red. He's just
Curtis,
shaking his
listen.
head, looking down.
I mean, it lines up with the same loopholes they have for child labor with a family-owned company. Technically,
Listen,
you can employ your
they're
child.
trying to go back to child labor.
Yes.
Well,
I heard about
and
that.
with
Yeah.
a family-owned company, you can technically employ your child at any age. You can give them a paycheck and make them do stuff for the business at any age, up to a certain number of hours, and as long as they're keeping their grades up in school.
To an extent. I mean, there's still payroll law. You can't employ somebody younger than 16 without working papers.
So this says
They may
Family-owned
be-
companies can, because the parent gives consent, and the parent
No.
owns the company.
So they may be able to collect like a dividend, but I don't think they can really work and be.
Yeah, you can start paying your child. I think they did put an age limit on it for family-owned companies, and it's not 16. It's younger than that. But you can technically put your child on payroll, and as long as they do something for the company, you can pay them. You can give them a bank account, direct deposit, and you can pay them. Because there are certain large companies that are family-owned that do this. They put their kids on the payroll. They pay them a set amount for whatever they say that they do until they turn 18, and then they turn that bank account over to their 18-year-olds so they can go buy a house and get a car and go live on their own.
I mean, that law might deviate per state, but New York, it's going to be a hard 16.
It could be per state, yeah.
So-
That could be.
So I don't know what the AI is trying to say here.
We're still talking about AI? When did that happen?
No, the AI overview from Google, because Google
Oh.
search is just a fucking giant AI overview now. It says state level rollbacks of child labor protections are a significant issue in the United States, with a number of states weakening laws that have been in place for decades. These changes come alongside a surge in child labor violations reported by the U.S. Department of Labor. Since 2021, a coordinated industry-backed effort has driven the introduction of bills to weaken child labor law protections in state legislatures. So it says here, reduced restrictions. Some states, including Iowa and Arkansas, have passed laws that relax restrictions on the hours children can work and the types of jobs they can hold. Iowa, for example, now allows 14 and 15-year-olds to work longer hours and in some hazardous environments, such as industrial laundries. Other states, such as New Jersey and New Hampshire, have also signed bills to lower age restrictions for child workers. Ooh, you're right there in New Jersey, man.
Yeah, it's coming.
So I just looked it up. Under federal law, the Fair Labor Standards Act, youth of any age can be employed by their parents in a business they solely own, with fewer restriction on hours and types of work compared to other jobs. This exemption has limitations. Children cannot be employed in mining, manufacturing, or any work declared hazardous. And then it goes on to say, federal regulations, unlimited hours and any time. Children under 16 working for a business owned entirely by their parents can work any time of day and for any number of hours without the usual hour and time restrictions for other youth employees. Some states limit it to during school hours. They cannot work during school hours. and some states limit the number of hours they can work, but I don't see anything on here saying states limit the age.
For employee and for family-owned companies.
Or if it's entirely owned by their parents. So for solely owned by their parents, they can employ their child at any age for any number of hours for
So I
any
wonder
day.
if that goes back to like farmers, allowing farmers to.
That is where it started, because the Fair Labor
Yeah.
Standards Act kind of started around that.
Right. Interesting.
So yes, technically you could have a child that's 2 years old. You could take pictures of them, post them on your company's social media. And if you as the parent are the sole owner of the business, you can work them for 24 hours a day, 7 days a week until they go into school. And then during school hours, it's up to the state whether they're limited or not.
Woo! You want to work on the phone, Chris?
I think I do.
Yeah, so look at that. We're rolling back. And then, of course, we have Project 2025. That's a good one. Let's see. Center for American Progress. Project 2025 would exploit child labor by allowing minors to work in dangerous conditions with fewer protections. The elimination of protections for young workers, if enacted, would lead more children to work in dangerous workplaces such as factories and slaughterhouses, as well as increase the likelihood of injuries and death to the benefit of greedy corporations. Sign up for the Spotlight Project 2025 newsletter. Have you guys ever seen that? The Project 2025?
I
haven't.
looked at it because I've heard about it, but
I don't think it's real.
I don't know. Could be.
They're
So further
So
reading and tying
let's see who invests in Project 2025.
further reading and
Vanguard.
tying in with
Yeah.
what we were talking about like getting government kickbacks. Tax implications. Hiring your child can also have tax benefits for the business, but you must pay them a reasonable wage for the work they perform. So you can actually get tax benefits by hiring your child as long as you pay them a reasonable wage for the work they perform.
Okay, so Project 2025 is an initiative of the Heritage Foundation, a conservative think tank that is the lead organization. More than 100 other conservative and right-wing organizations were also part of the coalition. The project is primarily funded by conservative, wealthy donors and organizations. The 6 donors are the Bradley family, Barside, I don't know who that is, the Skyfy family, $21.5 million, Richard and Elizabeth Uline, Charles G. Gotch, and the Coors family. Former Trump officials. Advisory board members, Alliance Defending Freedom, American Accountability Foundation, American Center for Law and Justice, Family Research Council, First Liberty Institute. Yeah, I don't see Vanguard
Oh.
behind this.
Hold on. You said the Coors family, which is Coors Light. You know who invests in Coors? BlackRock, Vanguard, Dodge & Cox, and State Street Corporation. So I just took one out of the list, Coors family, because I knew the business. I could look it up easily. Coors is invested in by BlackRock, Vanguard, Dodge & Cox, and State Street Corporation.
Who's the Bradley family? They have 52.9 in.
Sorry, I'm reading something else here. Let me see if I can send this to you.
So the Bradford Family Trust, an investment vehicle, and the News, Press, and Gazette Company, a media company wholly owned by the Bradley family through its division, the Burks Group.
Through its division.
And so let's see. If we just pull out of that, let's look up News, Press, and Gazette Company.
Did you just send this, Chris?
Yep.
Yes, you did.
Oh, Benny.
That is a ridiculous list.
Waiting for it to load. I'm looking who invests in the Burks Group.
President Joe Biden's campaign. So this was published in 2024. It was updated.
Yeah.
2025. Okay.
Yeah.
Because this former President Trump. That's not. Whoa.
Because it was probably. Did you get to the list?
Yeah. Holy crap. Wow. This is a lot of groups.
So these are all groups that I guess they're involved with the project. What is it to be involved? I'm not exactly sure. No.
So, Project 2025. Man, let's see. I have the project right here. The transition. Oh man, we would have to comb through this. This is like an entire episode on its own.
Yeah.
Yeah, they have the advisory board in the thing. A note on Project 2025. Everybody keeps talking about this, but I don't know what kind of. I've been told that this is fake. This whole thing.
Really? Because didn't Trump endorse it?
I don't know.
Okay, so the Burks Group, the one that I was looking up, the Burks Group is technically owned by News Press and Gazette Company, and News Press and Gazette Company is a privately owned company by the Bradley family, so they don't have any investors. The Bradley family is the money behind that.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, so what does the Bradley family own?
They own News Press and Gazette Company, the Burks Group, and the Bradley family started basically a privately owned investment vehicle.
Interesting.
And what does that invest in?
Who knows where the Bradley family got their money, but it's all privately owned and privately invested, apparently.
Who is Bar Side? That's another one that's huge. He's an American businessman from Chicago. He is the owner of Trip Light, an electrical products manufacturer.
Trip Light, that's like I have like a Trip Light surge protector under my desk.
Yeah.
Oh, that's who he is.
But wait, I thought that was for some reason I thought that company was sold to China.
Trip Light is owned by Eaton.
I mean, that guy put up $20 million. $22.4 million. The Skyfee family?
Trip Light is owned by Eaton. Eaton their major investors are the Vanguard Group and iShares ETFs, which is a Vanguard index fund.
It all comes back to the same fucking three companies.
Sure does.
Oh, and the Vanguard Group owns in stocks, in shares, owns 84% of Eaton.
Oof.
Wow.
Uh-oh. Vanguard announces strategic AI research partnership.
Yeah, probably with NVIDIA and Amazon and Google, all the people they invest in.
Mm-hmm.
Because if their investments do better, then they get more money. Noah James in the chat said, 2 people own everything.
It's true.
Who said that?
Noah James. It was on Facebook chat.
Yeah.
I haven't seen a Facebook chat in like an hour.
There was one 4 minutes ago and one 1 minute ago.
I haven't seen anything. Sorry, guys, if I'm not answering. I can't.
Up to a certain number of hours, and as long as they're...
There we go.
Stent. I mean, there's still payroll law.
With
You
that,
can't.
I do have to hop off.
Okay. Oh, chat. Oh, it took me out of the chat.
Took you out of live chat.
Yep.
They didn't like your hair.
No, they didn't.
They
Said,
didn't like
"What's
what you
with-
were talking about.
What's with
Nope.
that stupid flip?
And then for IMI, it locked him out of YouTube chat, so he wasn't seeing
Well.
anything on YouTube. I wasn't seeing anything on Facebook. So that's
We know
interesting.
YouTube censors stuff, so
I think AI was listening to our talk about Vanguard and they didn't like it.
All right.
with that strategic partnership coming up.
That's it.
So you said you got to go?
Yep, I gotta hop off now.
All right.
All right. I'm sure that Chris has to go as well. He's got work in the
Yeah.
morning, as do
I
I.
got worky work. Adult life.
Adult life. He's got to go massage the black cube before he goes into his office.
I sleep with it.
All right, it was good to be back with you guys. Fucking sitting here
too.
going down rabbit
So
holes.
it's great seeing you guys.
It's nice.
Yeah, at least we didn't go down the flat Earth rabbit hole.
That's coming. I've been working
boy.
on that for quite a while.
Oh boy.
It's almost ready, Chris. How does that make you feel?
I'm gonna be sick that day.
It's just for you. I'm not going to tell you when it's going to happen. It's just going to happen.
No. I'll be sick if I hear that come. My computer's not gonna work.
I'm going to
It'll
tell
be a
Apple's
you.
gonna
coin-
go defunct.
Ooh,
Hey, it'll be a coin flip whether his audio works that day or not.
I'm
Yeah,
gonna-
I might have
I'm
to use
gonna-
my RME again.
I'm going to tell you that week it's going to be a topic, a totally different topic. We're all going to prepare for it. And then, boom, the second the show starts.
You're gonna be the only one that doesn't know.
Yeah,
It's going to go
my
straight
camera's gonna.
in.
You know what's gonna happen? My camera's gonna go out. I'm not gonna be on the stream anymore.
That's going to be the best
Man,
one.
it would be rough if we planned that for like a couple months from now and just planned to like go meet up at his house or with him and get him in person and then be like, oh yeah, by the way, this is what we're talking about.
Oh, man. Yeah, that's going to be a fantastic
Yeah,
episode.
uninvited.
Get a hotel room, get a hotel room, invite him over. As he walks in, just lock the door behind him and be like, so flat Earth.
Listen, I'm gonna bring my. Now that I know, I'm gonna bring my rape whistle. Okay.
Wow.
Oh, that's right, because that's all you get in New York.
That's it.
it. He's not wrong. It's a rape whistle.
That's fine. It's fine.
You get like a rape whistle and what, like the dye packs that they give the bank, so you can spray somebody with it, so they can find them later.
It's all right. We know how to use our hands up north. That's what it comes down to. Go ahead, Lou. I know you want to say it. Go ahead.
What, you could barely fit your hands around it?
That's right.
Not only that, but up north, all I'd have to do is turn the heat on in the room. Y'all would be screwed.
Okay.
Put a humidifier in there, turn the heat up to about 78, get the humidity up to about 70%.
You know that humidity up north is really high, right?
Oh, it's
I
awful.
live in Florida. It's
It's
100%,
awful.
like all the time.
The dew point is like 72 regularly.
All right.
Matter
With
of fact,
that,
today, the weather in Florida, it was, I think the humidity was 95%.
Yeah, sounds about right.
I'd still prefer to be over in Florida. And with that, thank you for joining. It's good to see you again, Chris. Good to see you again, Mundane. Thank you, everybody, for joining into the chat and joining us on YouTube and Facebook. And I guess we'll be back in a few days. Maybe, guys.
Sounds good.
And with that, everybody have a good night. Thank you.
Adios.